Hello? Hello, yes? Sarcasm? Okay. So, good afternoon to all. Hope you are doing well for your preparation for the TCS Ninja preparation. And again, good afternoon. Today we are going to learn some. Today we are learning some important problems from split time distance, and along with that we are going to solve some problems from the ratio and proportion too. But before that, invite your friends to be on live. Okay, so please convey that message. Now we are going to start our session. Be on your live sessions. Okay. So our first question, before solving our first question, that I would like to discuss with you something. Okay. Yesterday we saw some problems from the split time distance. You came to know what kind of problems that you have to appear when you are facing any aptitude examination, especially TCS NQT. So in the same context and in the same pattern, today we are going to solve some extra difficult level questions from the same chapter, and then we are going to start for a chapter ratio proportion, some important problems from ratio and proportion. Okay. So I think first question is on your screen, right? So first question is on your screen, and try to read that problem, try to comprehensive that problem as we discussed before. Those who are new to this channel, those who are studying this for the first time, visiting our channel for the first time, for them, we are on a Shikuyaa app live session, YouTube live session of a Shikuyaa app. This is the app provided to you for your TCS NQT preparation. TCS is upcoming with this examination, and if you want to get entered into TCS, you have to crack this examination. Every content or every chapter related with this taste is there with a complete 300 plus concept videos with 10 mock tests is there in Shikuyaa app. So if you want a better learning experience about this test, then please please install app. And also we discussed in our last session while solving the STD problems that we are going to convert the given problem segment into diagrammatic form. This is for our better understanding, better improvement of our comprehension skills of the problem segment. Okay. So as per our discussion, the question is that students, if you are present there, please type hi in your comment box. So I would come to know how many are there. So if you are engaging in the video, if you are there, please type hi. Or if you want to start our session, then type hi. Okay. So some comments are there. So we should start with our session. And the first problem is there on your screen. The problem that you may appear on the screen is there a problem? Yes. So this is our first problem segment. That the problem segment is two cyclists start on a circular track from a given point but in opposite direction. Okay, so they start from a circular track, they travel on the circular track but in opposite direction with the speeds of 7 meter per second and 8 meter per second. Okay, So some students hi. Okay, so some are there giving us reply. So I welcome you all. Let's try to solve some problems. The problem is on your screen. So it is given that they travel in opposite direction with the speed 7 meter per second and 8 meter per second respectively. Now, if the circumference of the circle is 300 meter, it is given that circumference of the circle is 300 meter. After what time will they meet at the starting point? After what time they will meet at the starting point? That we have to calculate. So, now in this problem segment, your path is not linear one, your path is circular one. Okay, so the distance that both traveler or both cyclists have to travel, it is equals to circumference of the circle, because that is the entire path, right? So entire path, it is a circumference of circle, and distance it is given as 300 meter. It is already given into the problem that they travel 300 meters distance. Okay, then the two cyclists are there, the two friends are there. This is A and the second one is B, and they had given the time speed of individual person. Okay, so A traveled with the speed of, it is given into the problem, what is the speed of A? It is given, that is 7 meter per second. And what is the speed of B? What is the speed of B? 8 meter per second. Okay, this is their speeds. And what is asked into the problem segment? What value that you have to find out? When they will meet at the starting point for the first time. Obviously, it is not given into the problem, but we should understand that it for the first time, that we have to find out at what time they will meet at the starting point. If you can recall, this concept was clearly elaborated in our concept videos in a Shikuyaa app. If you can recall from that, in a circular path, when you have to find out the first time when they are meeting for first time, and this is very important, at the starting, this is very important, at starting, this sentence. So you have to find out in that time, you have to find out LCM of TA and TB. You have to find out LCM of TA and TB. So what is TA and TB? TA is a time required by A to cover entire path. To cover entire path of 300 meter, time required by A will be the TA. Then clear with this. And what is TB? Are you getting this? What will be the TB now? Now TB will be time required by B to cover entire 300 meter path. So value of TA and TB is clear to you. What should you consider? What should you consider as a value of TA and TB? Okay. Yes, done. So what should be the TA now? Of what values you will find out the LCM of? TA will be, as it is a time, as it is when, can I say that TA will be the distance upon speed? We know the value of how we calculate the time. It should be distance. What distance A should travel? Should it be 300 meter? Yes. So it should be 300 meter. What is the speed of A? 7 meter per second. So divided by 7, that will be the time of A person. What will be the TB? What will be the value of TB? 300, the same distance divided by its speed, that is 8. Okay. So the LCM of 300 divided by 7 and LCM of 300 divided by 8, that we have to find out. Okay. So if you know this, if you get this value, then we will find out. We came to know TA will be 300 upon 7. We came to know TB will be 300 upon 8. And the time we require, it should be the LCM of TA and TB. So this is important into this problem. Okay, this part is very important. How to, some students may go for calculation of 300 divided by 7. You will find out some fraction value. Okay, a decimal value basically. This is only in a fraction. So you will find out decimal value of TA. Then you will find another decimal value of TB. And calculating the LCM of decimal values is a most complex thing. So another important part, another learning part, how to calculate the LCM of fractions that we are going to calculate, 300 divided by 7 and 300 divided by 8. Do you know how to calculate the LCM of fractions? What will be the formula for that? This is completely given in a HCF LCM chapter in Shikuyaa app. So just visit that app to get complete known about this. But right now we require, when we are calculating the LCM of fractions, that should be, please remember this is very important, okay? You have to calculate the LCM of numerator terms, that is 300 and 300, and divided by HCF of denominator terms, that is 7 and 8. So this is very important. You have to calculate the LCM of your numerator terms. What are numerator terms? 300 and 300. And exactly inverse of that, HCF of denominator terms, 7 and 8. Now it is very simple. What will be the LCM of 300 and 300? What will be the LCM of 300 and 300? It should be 300. Any common term present in 7 and 8? No. So what should be the HCF of 7 and 8? It should be 1. So clearly you will get value as 300 seconds, and this should be your answer. Okay, 300 seconds, this should be your answer. So just go through your complete calculation once again. I will explain this complete question once again. But just before that, go through this calculation just for your understanding. Or if you have any doubt, if you want to repeat this question, please comment on the comment box. Did you get this problem? This was slightly easy one. Okay, so I think I should repeat this problem. So what was the circumference of this circle? It was 300 meter. They had given that speed of A person and speed of B person was 7 meter per second and 8 meter. Understood? Okay, done. That's great, but just be in a session. I will explain once again. Person A speed 7 meter per second, person B speed 8 meter per second. So we calculated that time required by A person and B person to cover entire 300 meter distance. Okay, so that should be distance upon speed. Time required by A should be distance upon speed, 300 divided by 7. Time required by B, distance will be same for both. So 300 as it is, but the speed of B was 8, so 300 divided by 8. What is asked into the question? Find out the timing when they will meet at the starting point. And this is very important formula when you want to find out this timing to meet at the starting point. That should be the LCM of TA and TB. Now we came to know what should be the value of TA and TB. So basically we have to calculate the LCM of 300 by 7 and 300 divided by 8. And this was the important part in this problem, to calculate the LCM of fractions. Okay. So hope you understood this problem up to this stage. Now this is very important to calculate LCM of your fractions. And as we know how we should calculate the LCM of these fractions, the LCM of numerator terms, right? LCM of numerator terms and divided by HCF of your denominator terms. So just calculate this. LCM of numerator terms will be 300, as the both values are 300, and HCF of 7 and 8, as there no any common number is present between 7 and 8, so HCF should be 1. So 300 divided by 1, 300 seconds should be your answer. Don't go in a calculation of this decimal values, okay? That will create complex in this problem. So do you understand this? Yes? Okay, so shall we go for next problem? Any doubt? So in a comment box we came to know that, is there any another second method? No, there is no any another second method for this. This I found which is very simple. Okay, so if you want elaborated concept about this, please visit the app. The circular track, how to calculate the time, then speed in a circular track, that was well explained into the app. So please just visit app. So now we are moving for the next question. The next question is on your screen. Try to read that problem. This is again the important problem which seems very easy, but if you calculate in another method, that will create complex. So this is very important problem. So just read that problem. Okay, so very short statement about the problem statement. So we will start solving this question. By walking at the 3/4 of his usual speed, a man reaches office 20 minutes later than the usual. What is the usual time of that man to reach at the office? Seems very simple. The problem statement seems very simple, and I'm trying to solve this problem first by, which is very normal approach of the student, mathematical approach of the student. Many of the student will go with this calculation. So I'm trying to solve this problem statement by that method first, and after that I will explain what should be the another simplified method to solve this problem. Okay, so first we will go with our mathematical equation based approach, what we call it as. So by walking at the 3/4 of the usual speed, this sentence gives you that his usual speed was s, and the new speed, which will be the s1, that is the 3/4 of your usual speed, means it should be 3/4 of s, right? Now a man reaches his office 20 minutes later than his usual time, right? Usual one. So if you consider the t as his usual time, the man reaches his office 20 minutes late. Means could we say that he takes 20 minutes more than his usual time, right? So what should be the t2? So new time, that will be the t1. Could it be t plus 20 minutes, right? T plus 20 minutes. Now uh, okay, we could leave it as a 20 minutes also. Now you have to find out what is his usual time. This is very important first to understand. When he was traveling at the speed of s in the time t, what distance he should travel? Could we find out the distance? That distance should be s into t. And what is that distance basically? This distance is from his home to the office. Okay, this is his distance. Now, when he reduced his speed to 3/4 of the s, because of that, time get incremented by 20 minutes. So he get late to the office by 20 minutes. But your distance, which is from your home to the office, does it change? No, right. This is the problem of distance traveled is the same. Distance traveled is constant, and this is very important concept in speed time distance. A very important concept. So, as the distance is constant for both, what could be the first distance? It should be the st. What could be the second distance? It should be s1 t1. And we can equate this because both distances are constant. So st, it is equal to 3/4 of s into t plus 20, or 20 minutes we could convert into hours by dividing by 60. So that should be 20 upon 60. If you want to write down this is in hours, 20 minutes in hour, that should be 1 by 3. Okay, so now solving this, if you want to solve this, st should be 3/4 of st, multiply this to t, plus 3s upon 12. 4 3s are 12. We just open up the bracket. Now you have to subtract this one of 3/4 of st to this side. So that should be 1/4 of st. It is equals to 3s upon 12. So s get cancelled to both sides. This 4 will cancel with this 3. So 3 upon 3, 1. So T will be 1 hour. So such lengthy calculation that you have to perform if you want to calculate for your time. So usual time will be 1 hour. But just look towards the board. How much calculation that we made, how much equations we should write for if we adopt this method, and how much time we invested while solving this question. So definitely we are not going to solve by this method. This is not wrong, this is the correct one, but this is time consuming one. So we are going to solve the same problem by some another method. So do you get this? Did you get this? So shall I rub down this? Just go through your calculation once again. I want to solve this by second method. So the second part. So the method second. And if you want to solve by this method, you should know with the concept called as, this is very important concept called as product stability. This is the concept from the percentages which is clearly elaborated in our app, Shikuyaa app. This is very important concept, very important one. Okay, this concept get used in entire aptitude subject where your product of two independent terms remains constant. So this is not only related with percentages, speed, time, distance. Many of the applications are there for this concept. So if you want to know about this concept, if you want to learn this concept in a detail, you have to visit our Shikuyaa app. This concept is clearly given into the app. So please please visit, please install that app for better learning. Okay. So right now we are just using this concept. What is that concept? That speed into time. This is the product of two independent terms which is remaining constant. Why we are saying that? Because we came to know that our distance is constant. Distance is constant. So this theorem states that when the one quantity get increased by, or when one quantity get decreased by n upon d, the other quantity should increased by. Now you will think. Now if I say that one quantity get decreased by 1 by 3 fraction, some of you students may think that other quantity should increase by 1 by 3. But this is not happening. This is not the correct method, or this is not the correct approach. The other quantity get increased by other fraction, and that's why you have to learn this concept, okay, thoroughly. So just please visit that. So this is the formula that when quantity get decreased by n by d, other quantity get increased by n upon n d minus n. Other quantity get increased by n upon d minus n. Why it is happening? Okay, so you will get to know when you will learn the same concept video in our app. So now, by what quantity speed is decreasing? See, at the first it was 1, then it become 3/4 of the 1. Means can I say that speed get decreased by 1 by 4, right? So n by d fraction, what is the n by d fraction? Speed get decreased by 1 by 4. So from this, could be defined by what fraction time should increase? N will remain the same as 1, and it is d minus n, means 4 minus 1. So other quantity get increased by 4 minus 1, so the 3. It get increased by 1 by 3 fraction. So what is basically the use of this? Why we calculated this? Because whatever the changes happen into the speed, it is proportional to its usual speed. And based upon that, whatever this change happen into the time, it is related to its usual time. So 1/3 of the usual time, that should be the change in a time. Change in time. So what is change in time? Initially, if he travel in a time t, then because of the decrement of speed, it takes 20 minutes more. So what is change in time from the initial one to the new one? Can I say that it is 20 minutes, right? So it should be 20 minutes. So 1/3 of the t it is equals to 20 minutes. So what is T? It is equals to 60 minutes, or in hours you can write down it as 1 hour, which is the very similar to our previous answer. But if you compare the both, right now I did so much calculation to explain you because of this n by d. But if you get this concept clearly, you really need not to write down this n by d and n by 1. So when you get that one quantity decreased by 1 by 4, other will increase by 1 by 3. 1 by 3 of usual, that will change in speed, and directly you will get the answer. So hope you will get this product stability concept in detail. Okay, so there is in a comment box one doubt is there, why it is t plus 20, right? So just look, suppose consider initially you are traveling at the speed of s, and into the problem statement it is given that after that he reduced his speed by 3/4. Okay, so 3/4 of s, he reduced his speed by 3/4 of s, and because of that they clearly given you that because of reduction in a speed, man reaches office 20 minutes later than his usual speed. Man reaches his office 20 minutes later. Means whatever the time he requiring initially, he takes more 20 minutes for the next time, or for the next time. So that T1 will 20 minutes more than his usual time. So we make the calculation as T plus 20. Okay, clear? Right? Done. So any another one? Any another doubt? No. So do you get this completely? What is the product stability? By n by d fraction, when one quantity get decreased by n by d fraction, other quantity does not increase by n by d fraction. This is very important. Uh, please remember this clearly. Other quantity get increased by n upon d minus n fraction. So when our speed get decreased by 1 by 4, other quantity, that the time get increased by 1 numerator as it is, and d, and the denominator will be d minus n, 4 minus 1, so it is 3. And the further one are very easy. So just remembering this is most important in this problem. Okay. So any another doubt, or shall we move on? If you get this problem, please type 1. And if you don't get, if you want to repeat this problem again, then please type 2. Did you get this? I think yes, done. Yeah, he is correct. T plus 20. So it is T plus 20. So shall we move for the next question? Just look towards the board. Get clear with all calculations. Okay. Check whether you have any doubt about this. Okay, done. So the next question there is on your screen. Please read that question. Okay. So there is one question, which is the next question, which is there on your screen. Try to solve that problem. This is very easy problem. Okay. Not so difficult. So just read that problem, try to comprehend that problem. So your problem statement is something like A travels at the speed of 40 km per hour. B travels at 60 km per hour. They are traveling towards each other. So they are traveling towards each other means they are traveling in a opposite direction. By the time they meet, B would have traveled 120 km more than A. So find out the total distance. Interesting one. Actually very simple. If you can recall, the only one property required to solve this question. Okay, we will solve this question on the board. The two persons are there, two friends traveling towards each other from the opposite direction. So one is A, other is B. They are given their speeds. The A is traveling with the speed of 40 km per hour. They are given that. Okay. And B is traveling at what speed? At exactly 60 km per hour. What is asked into the question? When they meet each other at something this point, let's say P, they found that one has traveled 20 or 120 km more than other. Okay, so you have to find out what could be the entire distance A to B. So try your logic. Try your logic to solve this problem. The clue is this, that the time required when the two persons are traveling in opposite direction and when they meet at their center, when they meet any point between their entire distance, the time required by them, that time required by A to travel this AP, if it is a T, the same time will be required by B to travel this BP distance. The time is constant. This is very important property when the two persons are traveling in opposite direction. This is the property from relative speed. So if you know this, that's good. But if you want to know about the relative speed in details, you have to visit our Shikuyaa app. For that, this property is clearly explained into our app with very simple problems, so you can get that clearly. So we will solve this problem. As we know that time of both persons for the traveling is constant, so we could equate that. That is TA, it is equals to TB. Now we know this. What should be the TA? What should be the TA? Distance traveled, that is AP divided by its speed. And what should be the TB? Distance traveled by B divided by 60. That should be the time. As it is a time, it should be distance upon speed. Now, they had given this, that one traveler travels 120 km more than the other. Uh, who will be that person who is traveling 120 km more? This is very important. When your time is constant, this is the relation between the other two parameters. When your time is constant, your distance is proportional to your speed. This is very important relation, okay? When your time is constant, distance is proportional to your speed. Means this give you that whose speed is more, he should travel the more distance, right? So this person is traveled 120 km more because his speed is more, right? His speed is 60, his speed is 40. So if you consider that this is a person traveled d kilometer distance, the other person should travel d plus 120. Hope you will get this. Did you get this? This is very important. Okay? Or you want to repeat this concept? Okay. So we should move forward because this is very easy. When your time is constant, your distance is proportional to your speed. So the 60 kilometer person who is traveling at the speed of 60 km per hour should travel the distance d plus 120. And now the problem statement is very easy. Just pay attention. What is the distance traveled by A? It is d. At what speed he traveled this distance? At 40. Okay, some students are getting the answer. This is very correct answer. Just who are not getting the answer, please pay attention. We should get that answer. Okay. So what is the distance traveled by B? It is d plus 120. Getting? And at what speed he travels this d plus 120 distance? At the speed of 60. Now pay attention. This is 40. This is 60. Can I write down this is as 2 and this is as 3? I can. So clearly 3D it is equals to 2D plus 240. I just cross multiply. So just subtract. D should be 240 kilometer. D should be 240 kilometer. Does it is our answer? No. We get this answer that this D is 240 kilometer. What should be this distance? 240 plus 120. Okay, this is clear, simple addition. The other distance should be 360. Okay, so this is 240. This is 360. What should be the entire A to B? 240 plus 360. Just make the addition of these two terms and your answer should be 600 kilometer. So some of students had get this answer. Very good. So this should be your answer 600. Okay. So do you get this? This is very important, that time required by both persons when they are traveling in opposite direction and they meet at this any point between those two directions. Right. Yes, the 600 should be the correct answer. Great. Now when they meet at this any point between that distance, the time required by each individual is a constant. So you can equate this. So what was the learning part in this question? Is this. Otherwise, solving this question is not that much difficult one, but just understanding this time and this relation is most important in this question. So shall I repeat this? What we had done? Okay. So just pay attention what we had done. It is given to us that both travelers are traveling from the opposite direction and they when meet each other at any point between that 2 points, they found that one traveler has traveled 120 kilometer more than the other. Also they had given the speed of each one. A traveling at the speed of 40 km per hour, B is traveling at the speed of 60 km per hour. Now from that, I came to know that who has traveled 120 km more than the other. Because I know that if they are traveled for the same time, means that time is constant, means the speed has to be proportional to the distance covered, means the one who is traveling at the speed of 60 km per hour should travel the greater distance. So he must travel t plus 120. So this is the learning part. Yes, I am repeating again. Just pay attention, Chetan, right? So hope you will get this. Who had covered the greater distance? B1. Why? His speed is more. So he covered the greater distance. So D plus 120 will be this part. D will be this part, right? Now, as the time is constant, the TA and TB is constant, we equate that. First we equate that. How could we represent the time? Can we represent it as distance upon speed? The distance they travel for and divided by its speed? Yes. So in the same format, we just replace the time. So for a traveler, what distance he has traveled? D kilometer distance. At what speed? 40 kilometer per hour speed. So D upon 40. And in the same, other traveler, B traveler, cover the distance of D plus 120 that we had already defined. D plus 120. And at what speed? He traveled this distance at 60 kilometer per hour speed. Now, from this, just cancel out this is 2 and this is 3 because this is 40 and this is 60. So just this will be 2, this will be 3 and then cross multiply. Then solving this is not a much difficult task, but understanding this one is most important. Did you get this? Any another doubt? Understood. Okay, done. Very good. Great one. Who had given the answer? 600. Good work, guys. Keep it up. So, shall we move for the next question? Just type 1, press 1 if you want to move for the next question. Or do you have any doubt in this question? Yes. Yes, Chetan. Good. That's good, Chetan. Okay. So, please read the next question which is coming on your screen. This is our next question from the speed time distance. Try to read that problem. Again, try to comprehension that problem. Use your logic, okay? Solving this problem. It may be happen that you're solving this problem with different logic. It may happen. Yeah, good. So, we are moving for the next question. Now, The problem is there on your screen is something like Ram and Sham are running in opposite direction around a circular track of length 25 meter. Speed of Ram is 33% of speed of Sham. This is very important, okay? Speed of Ram, it is 33% of speed of Sham. So whatever there may be a speed of Sham, 33% of that will be the speed of Ram, okay? So find the straight line distance between their first meeting point and second meeting point. It is given that they start simultaneously from a common starting point. So again a problem from the circular track, and the length of track it is 20 pi meters. So almost you can consider it as a circumference length. So what is the circumference of this circular distance? It is 20 pi meter. You are going to pay attention towards this question with 100. I want 100% attention for this question, okay? Because this is very important question. Very simple logic we are going to use for finding the straight line distance. So I hope you will attain this question with 100% concentration. Now, these two data are most important. That one is your circular track. They are traveling from the same point in opposite direction. So Ram and Sham, they are traveling on this circular track in opposite direction. So I will consider Ram is traveling in this direction, Sham is in this direction. Now they didn't give their speed directly. What they told you, that speed of Ram is 33% of speed of Sham, right? So now speed of Ram. What is the 33%? What is the fraction value of 33%? It could, I write down it as 1 by 3, right? So 33%, 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 of Sham. So just transfer this value. When I say that speed of Ram is 3, speed of Ram is 3. What will be the speed of Sham? It is a 33% of this, right? So if I consider, let's go into the problem. Speed of Ram, it is 33% of speed of Sham. So if I consider the speed of Sham as 3, what will be the speed of Ram? It should be the 33% of this, so that should be 1. So this is our speed value. Actually, this is our speed value. Okay. So now, when we get this, at the speed of Ram it is 3 and speed of Ram it is 1. This is very important that when they meet for their first time, as they are traveling in opposite direction, this is again the same problem in the context with our previous problem. They are traveling in opposite direction, and when they meet at their first meeting point, can I say that they had traveled for the same time as they are traveling in opposite direction? This concept that we had seen in our previous problem. So it is clear to you. When the two bodies travel in opposite direction, when they will meet, they had traveled their own distances for the same time. Means again, this is the problem from distance travel. Time it is constant. So we know the relation distance should be proportional to speed. So if the ratio of the speed, this is Ram and this is Sham, the speed ratio is okay. So I will consider Sham and Ram. If the speed ratio is 3:1, the distance ratio should be again 3:1. Why it is happening? Because your time is constant. They are meeting they are traveling in opposite direction. They are meeting at the first meeting point. After that, they are meeting at the second meeting point. But though they are traveling in opposite direction. So we know that when two bodies travel in opposite direction and when they will meet, they had traveled for the same time. So when the time is constant, we know this relation that distance is proportional to the speed. So now we know the ratio of speed of Sham and Ram, it is 3:1, and that the same ratio should be for their distances traveled because distance is proportional to the speed. Means if I consider the four equal, now the important part is coming into the problem statement. Okay, if I consider the four part of this circle, This data is showing me that when Sham covers the 3 part of his distance, in the same time Ram will cover the 1 part of his distance. Means if the Sham start from this part, when he covers the 3 part, please pay attention, okay? This is the 1 part, this is the second part, this is your third part. So when Sham is able to cover the 3 part of this distance, when the Sham will be here, in the same timing, Ram will only cover the 1 part of his distance, means only this part. So what will be their first meeting point? Is this. Now, for this, did you understand this? This is very important, or should I repeat this again? Okay, so if you want to repeat this again, please type 1. This is very important. We are not going to calculate the further calculation until and unless you will get this. Okay, so if you want to repeat this, please type 1. Otherwise, if you get this, then we are going to calculate for the further calculation. Okay, Chetan, you get this. That's good. Okay, so you are getting this. That's good. That's good. So, any another one? Any another viewer who want to repeat this? No, you are getting this. That's great one, guys. That's great one. So we are going to calculate the further one. Okay. So Sham is now. Please pay attention. Okay. So those who are getting get up to this now the very important part is coming. Now the Sham is traveling in upward direction. Ram is traveling in downward direction. This is Ram. This is Sham. The ratio of the distances covered will be again the same. Means in the same timing, the Ram will cover the next 3 part. That will be, this will be the 1, second, and this is the third one. So Sham will be here. And as Ram is traveling in this direction, how much distance Ram will cover? Only 1 part. So Ram will travel in this direction. He will cover this 1 part, and Ram will be here. So what will be the second meeting point? Is this. Now what do you have to calculate? The straight line distance between these two meeting points. What do you have to calculate? The straight line distance between these two meeting points. What could be the logic to find out the straight? Exactly, you get the answer. Sonal, that's the correct answer. That's good. That's good. 10 root 2. Now, who are not getting this answer, please pay attention. Now we are calculating by what method or by what logic we could find out this straight line distance. This is your center point. Just join your these 2 points. Okay, these 2 points. If I consider this is as O, this is A and this is B. What is OA for the circle? OA for the circle. Does it is a radius? It is a radius. What is OB for a circle? It is again a radius. So can we find out, now this is clear to us that when we get the value of radius, we could find out this straight line distance because this is a right angle triangle. We could implement the Pythagoras theorem to find out this hypotenuse. Okay, but just we should know the value of radius. And how we could get that? We know the circumference which is given into the problem. It is 20 pi. And how the circumference of the circle get calculated? It is a 2 pi r. 2 pi r. So pi get cancelled. This will be 10. So 10 is your radius. So when your one radius is 10, now you are getting one right angle triangle where one side is 10, other side is 10, and just you have to this. I just pasted this diagram here. Your one side is 10, other side is 10. What should be your hypotenuse? 10 root 2. Correct. That is 10 root 2 should be your answer. Okay. So, hope you will get this question clearly. This is very important question. Your answer should be 10 root 2. If you want to repeat this question, Rahul, no. Yes, radius should be 10, correct. But your straight line distance should be 10 root 2. Okay. Your radius should be 10, but your straight line distance should be 10 root 2. Why? Yes, correct. Because we calculated the straight line distance as a hypotenuse of inner right angle triangle. Okay. So, did you get this question? If you get this question, please type 1. If you don't get this question, please type 2, so that I could understand, should I repeat this question or should I go for the next question? If you understand this question, please type 1. If you don't, then please type 2. So I could decide that yes, almost 1 it is coming. So we should move for our next question. Okay. So who are done with this? Try to read the next problem which is there coming there on your screen. So your next problem is, this is your next problem. Very important one. So please try to read this problem with 100% concentration. This is very important in this problem. So done? Should I start for the solution of this problem? Okay. Now, the question is, two scooter rides moving in opposite direction start at the same time from opposite ends of a 100-kilometer road. Each rider moves at the speed of 40 km per hour. At the moment they start, a fly leaves one of the rider and flies to land on the other. If a fly travels at the speed of 60 km per hour, select the option that indicates the unit distance in units the fly needs to travel. Okay. So we will again try to complicate this problem because so much quantities are involved in this problem. Basically, there are two scooters. Okay, the one scooter is here, another scooter is here. The distance between them was 100 km, and both scooters move in a opposite direction. Okay, both scooter moves in a opposite direction. What was their speed? Speed is 40 km per hour. And when they start moving in opposite direction, one fly leaves from the one scooter and try to sit on the other scooter. So you have to find out the distance traveled by fly while doing this situation, that that fly flies from the one scooter and try to sit on the second scooter. So if you consider, as it is actually given into the problem, that both scooter travel from the opposite direction. So this is a scooter 1. This is scooter 1. This is the second scooter. Okay. So this will be this position. And they travel in opposite direction. So many students will consider this direction as this. Many of the students will consider the direction as they are traveling in this opposite direction. And that's not the wrong. That's what the conventionally taught to us. Okay, in many problems this is very conventional direction, that when the two quantities travel in opposite direction, that they travel in this direction. But if you take such directions, the distance between them is 100 km. Now we will try to solve why this direction is not the correct one, that I am trying to explain. That one fly leaves the one scooter and try to sit on the second scooter. Okay, and when they will meet at the center point, the distance traveled by fly should be less than 100. Whatever there may be a distance, if you consider this direction as your actual direction, the distance traveled by fly should not be more than 100. Whatever may there happen. But this is not the correct one, because I am not given the answer of this question, option for this question. But if they had given, that you could come to know that all options were greater than 100. Okay, right now there is not any option, but if the options were presented there for the actual problem, all options was greater than 100. So when the all options are greater than 100, that clearly indicates you that the both drivers or both scooters are traveling in this opposite direction. And now the problem statement is easy. They are traveling at the speed of 40 km per hour. Now this is important. This is very important that they both travelers are traveling in this opposite direction. Okay, not in this opposite direction. Now when the fly leaves one scooter, this is the, okay, we will draw this fly upper side. When the fly leaves one scooter and try to reach to another scooter, and that fly is traveling at the speed of 60 km per hour. When such condition happens, what we have to find out what the distance is traveled by fly to sit on this scooter. Means at that time, the use of this scooter get vanished. There is no use of this scooter. Okay, what we have to find out? In what time, basically, in what time uh, fly will overtake this scooter, and in that time what could be the distance traveled by fly, that we have to find out. So there is no use of this scooter. Now the condition is happening, the one scooter is here moving at the speed of 40 km per hour, fly is behind that scooter, 100 km behind that scooter, and want to approach that scooter at the speed of 60 km per hour, and you have to find out the time for the overtaking. Again that term comes. Yesterday also we already saw some problems on this concept, that time taken for the overtaking. Okay, and from that you came to know it should be the distance that should be overtaken divided by relative speed. Relative speed. So what distance that they should overtake? The distance that should be overtaken by fly, that should be 100 km. And what is the relative speed? The speed of scooter is 40 km per hour. Speed of fly is 60 km per hour. Both are traveling in the same direction. So you will subtract their individual speeds. This is the very important concept. Those who are new to this channel, please visit our Shikuyaa app for the relative speed. You are going to solve many problems based on relative speed when you are approaching this exam. So please be clear with such all concepts which are clearly elaborated in our Shikuyaa app. So just please install that app for better understanding. So what is the relative speed? It should be 60 minus 40. So actually it is 100 upon 20, and it should be 5 hours. What is the 5 hours denotes to you? It means next 5 hours required by fly when she leaves the one bike rider or one scooter to reach to next scooter. Okay, so does this time is required? Does this time is asked into the question? No, they asked you about the distance traveled by fly. Now for what time she required, or that fly required for covering such condition? She required time almost 5 hours. And how we could find out the distance when time is given to us? We should multiply by time into speed to get our distance, correct? So time is 5 hours, so just multiply it by the speed. By whose speed? Who want to cover this distance? Fly, right? So speed should be of fly. So just multiply by the speed of fly, which is the 60 km per hour, and the distance should be 300 km. 300 km, that should be the distance traveled by fly. So this was the new type to you all people, because almost we had solved some problems from the opposite direction, but in all problems we had taken the direction like this. So this was the problem statement which giving you some new clue or some new hint that the opposite direction means not only in this direction, it can be happen when the two bikers are moving in opposite direction, the direction should be like also this. Okay. So this is the important part in this question. Any doubt about this? No. 4 hours? No. No, Chetan. It should be the distance which fly has to cover, which is 100 km, right? And the speed should be relative one. So 60 minus 20 is 40. That should be the 20. So 100 upon 20. So your answer should be 5 hours, not the 4 hours. Okay. Some silly mistake that you may done while calculating. So your answer should be 300 km. Did you get this? or any doubt? Should I repeat this question? If you want me to repeat this question, please type 1. Okay, I think I should repeat this question once again, but just before that, no worries, Chetan. Okay, so if you want to repeat me this question, please type 1. Otherwise, we will move for the next question. Okay. So what is your responses? Should I move for the next question or should I repeat this question? Okay. Just once again we will repeat a complete question. Okay. So the entire distance was given to us, that is 100 kilometer. Two bikers were there who are traveling at the speed of 40 kilometer per hour, but they are traveling in an opposite direction. Okay. So the direction for the opposite direction was very important in this question, that we take this opposite direction. Okay. Now, yes, I am explaining that. 40. Okay. Now, one fly leaves one biker and try to sit on the other one, the role of first biker get eliminated. Now, you have to find out the situation is something like this. Please imagine this. Please visualize this. Situation is something like this. One biker is front of flag, almost 100 kilometer front of flag. He is traveling at the speed of 40 kilometer per hour. Fly is behind that biker almost by 100 kilometer, and which is trying to overcome this distance by the speed of 60 kilometer per hour. This is a clear condition that when you are going to find out the time for the overtaking, the distance that should be overtaken by fly, that is 100 kilometer. And by what speed? As the both are moving in the same direction, this is the direction of fly, this is the direction of biker, both are moving in the same direction. So the relative speed should be the subtraction one, 60 minus 40, so that is 20, right? So 100 upon 20, fly will need next 5 hours to overtake the bike, and in that 5 hours we have to find out how much distance that fly should cover up. So fly should cover up this distance with his own speed. So 5 into the 60 time into speed will give you the distance traveled by fly, that is 300 kilometers. Are you getting this? Did you getting this question? Do you get this? Have we calculated the speed? Have we calculated the time for overtaking? Have we calculated the distance? Okay. So this is our answer, 300 kilometer. So shall we move for the next question? Just go through our total calculation once again. Once you are done with this, please type 1 if you want to go for the next question. Okay. So now we are moving for our next question. This was very important. This was very important question. So I hope you understand this question completely. So the next question is there coming on your screen. Please try to read that problem. And now we are moving into the chapter ratio and proportion. Very important one. Okay. Ratio and proportion. So next problem which you may face on the screen is from the ratio and proportion. Okay, so now we are moving in the chapter ratio and proportion. From my side, some clues from my side. Okay, when you are going to face this chapter in your aptitude examination, there will not be a straight line question based on this chapter. Okay, there will not be any straight line question based on this chapter. You may find this chapter collaborated with mixture. You may find this chapter collaborated with ages, and it can be collaborated with a partnership. So whatever problems that you may face in our examination, in your examination, okay, so that problems are mixed with ratios. AJ's problem mixed with ratios, mixture allegation problem mixed with ratios, partnership problem mixed with ratios. So such combined type of problems that you may face while facing your examination. But for solving such all questions, some simple logic that we use in ratios has to be clear. Okay, so the first problem that is on your screen, try to read that problem. We will see how to solve such questions. Okay, so the problem is there on your screen. Problem statement is something like A and B enter into the partnership with an investment in a ratio respectively 2:3 with their investment period in ratio 9:4 respectively. Total profit received by them is 3,500. Then the find share of profit, share of A in profit, that you have to find out. Okay. So there are two persons, there are two friends, A and B. Come up with one conclusion or come up with one decision that they want to start one firm, one business. Now, some money should be invested for the starting, right? So the ratio of money invested by them is given to you, that A and B are there. What is the investment ratio? That A invested the money in a proportion of 2 and B invested in a proportion of 3. So the invested money in a ratio 2:3. Okay. And what is their investment time ratio, which is given into the problem? Investment time ratio, it is 9:4. Okay. Now whatever calculation I'm doing right now in front of this are very important one. The profit which should be distributed after the completion of their end year, the profit which get distributed among them is a proportional to their investment and time ratio. Okay. So whatever the investment they had made and for what time they made this investment, the profit is proportional to the both quantities. As the return percentage it is not given, we will consider this as a 1. So the profit that should be distributed, it is a product of I and T. So what amount A invested? It is 18, 9 into 2. And what amount B invested? It is 4 into 3, 12. So if you find the ratio of this, you can divide both number by 6. So that is the ratio, it is 3:2. So the profit get distributed among A and B in a ratio 3:2. This is very important. This part is most important in this. How do you calculate your profit ratio? Now when we came to know that the profit should be distributed in a ratio 3:2, what is the entire profit they made at the end of the year? They made the profit of 3,500. And you have to find out the part of A and how it is calculated. Please pay attention. What the part A holds from the total? A holds the 3 part. What are the total part? 3 plus 2. So total part are 5. And it get distributed among total one, 3,500. So this is a very basic one in a ratios. If you get this, that's clear one. If you want to know this concept in a depth, you have to visit our Shikuyaa app. Just install that app. Okay. So this concept is most important in our ratios. How to distribute one profit, complete profit in some ratios, or how to divide a given number in some ratio. Okay. This we are dividing the given number, which is 3,500, in a ratio 3:2. How we can do that? 3 part you have to calculate. So 3 will be upper side. Total part are 3 plus 2, so 5. So 5 will be in a denominator and into, for what number you are calculating? 3,500. So just divide this. This is now very easy. 700. So 700 into 2 to 3, 2100. So the amount that A should get after the distribution of your profit, that amount should be 2100 rupees. Now calculating this is not important one. Not important one should not I say like that, but this is not the difficult one. What is the difficult one, or what is the understanding part in this? Whatever the profit that you are making, it is proportional to your investment money and your investment time. Okay. So the product of both will be your total profit. Total profit for the individual one. So it is 18, this is 12. So we get the profit ratio as 3:2. So the total profit, entire profit at the end of the year, which was 3500, get distributed among the two persons in a ratio 3:2. And from that we calculated what will be the share of A, and the answer should be 2100. So, did you get this? Yes, Sonal has get the correct answer, 2100. That's the correct one. Good one, Sonal. Great job. So, what is about the other peoples? Okay, do you get this problem? This is the part from the ratio. Yes, 2100. Done. Do you want to repeat me this problem? If you want to repeat this problem, please type 1. Otherwise, we will move for our next question. This is very easy. The questions from the partnership will not consume your more time, but understanding those problems is most important. Okay. So now we should move for our next question. Please try to read the question which is there on your screen. Our next question is this: ratios mixed with ages. Okay. So try to solve this question. The question is easy. Try to solve this. Question is something like, 5 years ago, the father was as old as the son will be in 10 years. 5 years ago, the father was as old as the son will be in 10 years. If after 2 years, the ratio of the father and son become 14:9, what will be the ratio in 5 years from now? Now please remember, please pay attention, how could we represent such questions? Now, how could we represent it in a good format so that we could not get confused between their ages? Okay, so this is very important bit. I will consider their present ages as F and S. What is it? F denotes? F is a present age of the father. S denotes present age of the son. Now, according to problem statement, what happened before 5 years ago? Okay, so before 5 years ago, what was the condition? So, what was the age? What will be the age of father before 5 years? Could it be F minus 5? Right? We don't know really what is the value of F, but before 5 years, it obviously should be F minus 5. And it is given into the problem that 5 years ago the father was as old as son will be in a 10 years. So son will be in a 10 years. How much age? Okay. Could it be, as it's right now he is aging as S, in next 10 years he should be S plus 10. So we could equate that. And this is very important. F minus 5, it is equals to S plus 10. So what is the value of F that you can get from this? It could be S plus 15. Just transfer that value. So F is S plus 15. S is as it is. Okay. Now, the next ratio is given to us. It is given into the problem. After 2 years, the ratio of their ages will be 14:9. So after 2 years, what will be the age of father according to our calculation? It should be S plus 15 plus 2. So it should be S plus 17. And what should be the age of son after 2 years? Right now he is aging S. So write down like this. Present void this. After 2 years, This is P plus 2. Okay, so it should be S plus 2. So this will give you clear idea about the ratios. And it is given that it is 14 as to 9. And from this, you can find out the value of sun. How? You know the ratio, your calculation relation between their ages. So it is S plus 17 upon S plus 2, it is equals to 14 upon 9. Okay, so this is important one. S plus 17 plus S plus upon S plus 2, it is equals to 14 upon 9, because it is that A as to B ratio can be represented as A upon B. This is the very basic from your ratios. Okay, so we could represent like this. Now, some of you may think that just cross multiply this and find the value of S, but that will consume your time. Now, just think like this. The numerator term, as the ratio is coming out as 14, the numerator term should be in a multiple of 14. Either it should be the 14 or in a multiple of 14, right? But if you want the numerator term as 14, it could not be possible because one value is 17. So it is not going to be possible. The numerator term will be 14. So I will write down this question, write down there. What I am trying to explain, we came to know that S plus 17 upon S plus 2, it is equals to 14 upon 9. Now we are trying to find out the any value of S such that addition should be S plus 17, addition should be multiple of 14. So what is the first multiple of 14 that we could get? It is 28, right? 14 twos are 28. So 28, how much value should be of S so that S plus 17 will be 28? So 17 plus 3, 20, 20 plus 8, 28. So 8 plus 3, value of S should be 11, correct? Did you get this? How we calculated the value of S? Value of S should be 11. Now, if this is 11, just put this value down. 11 plus 2, 13. But it is not in a multiple of 9. The denominator term should be also in a multiple. If we are predicting that numerator term should be in a multiple of 14, it holds good for the denominator also. The denominator term should be in a multiple of 9. But 13 is not in a multiple of 9. So 11 could not be my answer. So what is the next multiple of 14? We check for 28, right? So 28 plus, then we will move on next multiple, that is 42. 14 threes are 42. So if you want the numerator term as 42, what should be the value of S that you should add in 42? 42 minus 17, right? So it should be correct, 25. So value of S is 25. So if the value of S is a 25, put this value denominator so that you can get the addition as 42. Put the same value in the denominator. It should be 25 and it is a 27. And now you are getting the number which is a multiple of 9. So the value of S should be 25. This should be the ideal method to solve any questions like where you have to cross multiply. So what the value of S we get? It is a 25. So what is the S holds? It is a present age of sun. So what is the present age of sun? It is 25. Now, what could be the age of sun after 10 years? It should be 35. This is 35. Okay. So when age of sun is 35 at that time, the same age will be of father, because we know this f minus 5 is equals to s plus 10. We came to know that s plus 10 is 35. So f minus 5 will be again 35. So this is 35. So what could be the present age? It is 40 plus add 5, because this is a minus 5. So we will add plus 5 into this. So this is a 40. So now we came to know that their present ages as father and son, it is 40 and 25. After 5 years, what will be their age? Now it is very simple. Now you also can calculate this. This is 45 and this is 30. And what will be this ratio? Both numbers are divisible by 15. So when you divide both numbers by 15, the answer should be 15 threes are 45, 15 twos are 30, and should be 3 as to 2. So your answer should be 3 as to 2. That should be your answer. Okay. Correct. 35 and 40. Correct, correct. You're getting good answers. Value of A is 25. Correct. Great one. Calculated in a very good manner. Your logic is too good. Okay. Now, do you get this? Very simple one. Okay. So, important one was how you calculated the F minus 5, S plus 10. Did you get this or not? How we calculated the S value, how we calculated the F value from that. Okay, so I will explain this problem once again. Okay, so according to the problem, we first consider the present age of father as F, son as S. Now before 5 years, they given that 5 years ago the father age was as equal as son's age will be in a 10 years. So clearly they given that F minus 5 it is equals to S plus 10. What will be the age of son after 10 years? S plus 10. So from that I get the value of F as S plus 15. Now I replace this value. You get this how we calculated this? Okay. So I replace this is the present age of father. So I replace this as S plus 15 and present age of son S as it is. Now they given you that after 2 years the ratio become 14 as to 9. So what is according to our calculation the ratio should be plus 2 S plus 17 plus 2 S plus 2 and ratio become 14 as to 9. So from this we came to know about this equation. And from this we calculated the value of S which is equals to 25. So you all came to know how we calculated the value of S without cross multiplication. Okay, we check for the multiples of 14 and according to that we define the value of S. We put the same value of S into the denominator and we check that when the same value get added into the denominator whether the addition coming out as multiple of 9 or not. Okay, so value of S the only one value that we get which satisfies this condition is a 25. So we came to know that present age of son it is a 25. Now we consider the present age of son as 25. After 10 years his age will be 35. Okay, so 35 based upon that the same age will be of father before 5 years. Now present age plus 5 40. Now from that we came to know present age of father 40, present age of son 25. After 5 years that will be 45 and 30. Ratio should be 3 as to 2 as it is a simple one. Okay. So did you get this problem? I explained the complete problem once again. Just go through your board, go through this calculation. Yes, value of A is 25. Correct. Right? So we will move for the next question. Again from the partnership. You are going to face a new question again from the partnership. Okay. So try to read this problem. Try to read this problem. Now you know how to solve such kind of problems based on partnership. So I hope you will solve this problem with a correct answer. So how many friends are there? How many friends are there? 3 friends. The 3 friends are there. George, Paul and Hari start a business by contributing rupees 30,000, 40,000 and 50,000 respectively. After half year, George withdraw his half contribution and at the end of the year, business showed a profit of 90,000 which was divided among 3 men proportionally to the amount and duration proportionate to the amount and the duration of their investment. It is clearly given into the problem that the profit get distributed among them proportional to the investment and the duration, amount of investment and the duration in the enterprises. Paul got. You have to find out how much part of the profit Paul got, that you have to find out. Now, very similar kind of problem that we had already saw in the previous one, but right now some changes had made in this question. The first is in a previous problem there was only 2 participants. Now here are 3 friends. Okay, one is a George, second one is a Paul, and third one is a Hari. Okay. So these are three friends. They invested some amount. How much amount George invested? He invested 30,000. Such a bigger number. Investment. He invested. Now when Paul came to know that George invested 30,000 rupees, he said that I will invest 40,000 rupees. 10,000, he increased his value. 40,000 rupees. And Hari came to know that George invested 30,000. Paul invested 40,000. He decided I will invest 50,000. He again increased 10,000. Okay. Though they are friends, some fight will be there. How much investment one should do. Okay. So in that Hari invested 50,000. But what happened? The business continues with a very good for the first 6 months. But after 6 months, George realized it is not so much good business. So he worried about his investment and he draws out 50% of his investment. So it is given into the problem. After half year, means almost after 6 months, George withdraw his half contribution. George withdraw his half contribution. Means George invested the 30,000 amount for only how much time? 6 months. And for the next 6 months, how much amount of George was invested in the business? Yes, it's a half of the original. Almost 15,000 amount was invested of George into the business for next 6 months. But the other two doesn't do the same thing. They feel that the business is very good, it is going very good, and so they invested their amount for entire 12 months. What the profit get distributed by what ratio, that we have to find out. And as we know that they also clearly given that the profit get distributed among them proportional to the amount invested and the time invested. Okay, so please watch carefully right now. This is very important. What should be the profit ratio? This is very important. When we are calculating the ratio, these three zeros are going to be present there. And when we are calculating ratio, they are going to cancel. So right now only we will cancel these three zeros as we are calculating the ratio. Okay. So first term will be 30 into 6. 30 into 6, 180. The other term is, but for the next 6 months, he invested 15,000. So 15 into 6. What is the 15 into 6? It is 90. So almost for the 12 months, George invested only rupees 180 plus 90, which should be 270. So he invested 270 rupees. Okay. Then how much money Paul invested? He invested 40 into 12. So 12 fours are 48. So he invested 480. And how much money Hari invested? Hari invested 50 into 12. 12 5s are 60. So he invested 600. Okay. So when you are calculating the ratios, the 1 0 will get cancelled from each side. 7, 27, 48 and 60. Divide every number by 3 because every number is divisible by 3. So your ratio should be 9 as to 16. 3 ones are 3, 1, remaining 1. 3 6 are 18. So 16 will be the answer. And the other divided by 3, that will be the 20. So could you take any number common from 6, 9, 16 and 20? No, right? So this should be your investment ratio. That is 9, 16 and 20. Now your total profit get distributed among 3 of the investors in a same ratio. 9 as to 16 as to 20. And for what investor that we want to calculate the profit? For Paul. So how much money Paul should get? Now we know this. How we calculated this? Paul part, it is 16 divided by, what is total part? 16 into 20. 16 plus 20 plus 9. So 16 plus 20, 36. 36 plus 9, 45. So total is 45. Multiply by 90,000. When you make such calculation, this will the profit gained by Paul. Profit gained by Paul. Now 90 and 45, both numbers are divisible by 15. That is a clear observation. So this is 6. This is 3. This 3 will be again divided to this. That will be 2. So this is 2000. So 2000 into 16, how much amount Paul should get? It is a 32,000 profit that should be gained by Paul. Okay, done. So this was the examples from the ratio, such kind of problems that you may face whenever you are solving the problems from the ratio. So hope you will get this question clearly, and please go through your calculation once again. Okay, if you have any doubt, please ask the doubt right now, because now we are going to stop over this session for once a while. The next session is there at 4. Okay, so just don't go anywhere. Please stay tuned to the channel. The next session is very important from the aptitude. It is a very important session. So don't go anywhere. Please stay tuned to the channel, and hope that you will prepare for your examination very well. Thank you so much.